I am Ergo Proxy.
You fucking for real? Are we dead ass? It ends with just fucking I am Ergo Proxy. But just right into Radiohead. You cannot be serious. So, going into this one, I did have some preconceptions. The first being that the main girl, Riel, yes, her name is Re-L, not real, she's different. Riel. Like the guy from Death Note, but again. Anyway, Riel is a baddie. And the second being that Ergo Proxy is one of those shows that, like, the anime fan equivalent of annoying film bros like. Like, they think they're intellectually superior for watching a real show, you know? And after getting through it, I say it was alright, for the most part. The beginning's really a good introduction to the world, and still fairly coherent in terms of the philosophical stuff. Then we leave the dome, and things get weird. Then we're back in the dome, and there's some scheming, which is at least entertaining. But it's once Riel joins Vincent and Pino on their little journey that the show really shines to me. Just like the different, like, areas and situations and proxies they encounter was really cool to see. Plus, seeing Dark Iggy was very funny. And don't worry, things are still happening back at Dome Base. Yuri Lowenthal is like grooming a clone of his ex-girlfriend, and Raoul might have become a terrorist, but the head honcho loved the cut of his jib so much that he now gets free reign, and might even actually start a robot genocide, who knows. Honestly, the middle section is insane. There is not a single episode from like 14 to 19 where you could reasonably guess what happens next. And I love how they just drop you into these situations with no warning or buildup. Like if I gave you 10,000 guesses, given the context of the first 14 episodes, there is no world you could tell me that episode 15 is a canon in-universe game show created by another proxy that also has some of the most important lore in the show. And then we go to Disney World. Holy shit, that cat is bad as fuck. What the hell? Why's she drawn like that? Holy. Now, dropping us right into things is cool for the more non-consequential episodes, but they also do it for the final arc of the show, which did have me questioning if it was real for quite some time. Which does bring me to the ending of the show. It's fine, but it feels very rushed. All the mains get some sort of payoff. Meanwhile, everyone else, like everyone in the dome, they just die, or I guess become like a refugee. Also, I get proxies and domes were plan B, I think. I think that's what they said. And everyone else got to go to space. But like, why did Big Vinny, when making Rondo, just make someplace fucked up? Like, bro was in the lab like, I'm thinking it needs second-class citizens. Oh, and slave robots. But, and this is important, there should be a virus where the robots can gain a soul. And some assistants probably in there like, so what happens to the robots who catch the virus? Do they get to be like citizens? And bro is like, nah. They're gonna be hunted for sport, like dogs. Like, what is bro thinking? The most like consumerist society I've ever seen, by the way. Like, they have this announcement come up.
Fellow citizens, the time is now to consume. Why skim when you deserve more?
A few times in the series. Now, one of the philosophical aspects of the show, it was mostly just about, like, the human condition, I think. Like, what defines a person, what it means to live, and all that. Plus some stuff about, like, the cost of relying or breaking away from a higher power. It was all pretty interesting if you could understand what they're saying. Because, man, this one loved to tell and don't show. Like, it's got some insane yapathons, and sometimes it feels like they're not even saying anything specific just for the sake of being esoteric. And then other times, it's one-to-one the Icarus myth, where a literal guy named Daedalus is talking to a godlike figure flying up into the sun, going, oh, don't do that, you'll die, and then they do that and they die. Like, it couldn't have been more clear. Honestly, the whole show could have been more clear. Not like one-to-one recreating a myth clear, but like, you could have told me what was going on in a better way. The characters are all decent. Everyone grows or has an arc of some kind. I mean, even the robots. My personal favorite was probably Raoul Creed. Not just because his fucking name is Raoul Creed. I mean, come on. Or that his voice is really nice. It was just a fun arc where he's like, I can't lose. And then then he becomes a terrorist. The visuals are strange. I love the mid-2000s aesthetic, and the designs of everything, like the characters and the set pieces, are very nice. Well, except for the desert, but it's also a desert, so I don't really care. But the camera work, I guess is what you would call it, especially earlier on, is kind of wonky. There's a lot of shaky cam and Dutch angles throughout, but overall it's fine. The music is great. The OST fits the show well. The opening is super 2000s. It almost leans too much into Christian rock, but I still love it. The ending is Paranoid Android by Radiohead. I don't think I need to say more on that. Apparently they also only gave the rights after seeing a preview of the show, which is cool. And you can only hear it on certain releases due to like copyright issues. Overall, Ergo Proxy was pretty good. It's a nice slow burn with decent philosophical themes if you can figure them out. It's not the second coming like some snobs would have you believe, but it's a good watch. I'd give it like an 8.4. And I don't actually know what we're watching next week yet. Got a few shows I want to watch, but I can't pick one, so let's spin a wheel. Alright, here we go. Let's see what we're watching next week. Aw, big win for the Kaza Bros. Let's go. Awesome. So next week we're watching El Cazador de la Bruja. And until then, I'm a man who's unsure of what they were yapping about, and this has been Ergo Proxy. Thanks for watching.